that's a good form line as we see the toss of the coin between the captains, the two captains, Dylan Grimes and Jack Steele, and Bradley Hill there as well, the exchange of gifts.
Yep. All right, go for it. Tail's the call, and it is a tail. Nice one.
Nicely done by Razor Ray. The Saints, on the other hand, have gone win-loss, win-loss, win. Yep. So they've been up and down a little bit. They've had some really good results. Beat Sydney. Lost to Hawthorn that they're disappointed to. Beat the Giants. That form stands up after today. Lost to Adelaide badly and beat North Melbourne.
52 points.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That was a pretty scrappy game. But I wasn't surprised they were favourites. Guys going into the Tigers, because they were comprehensive last week. That's the best they played. Just started to click. And as we know, the Tiger team, the way they play, they get momentum in games, guys. They're going to be very dangerous in the back half of the year. No question about that.
These pre-game speeches were one of the first things we noticed about Trent Cotchin and how he changed the attitude. It was all backing out, or probably before you guys. In my day, it was very stern. If anyone was smiling, it was seen as a sign that they weren't switched on. Trent Cotchin then came in and said, now let's just lighten up, lighten the mood, tell a joke. Yeah. And all of a sudden we're seeing them laughing just prior to the bounce of the ball.
Yeah, there was a point there where I think Jackie Higgins, who obviously that's St Kilda now, was telling jokes in the huddle, got them all laughing.
Oh, well, he's starting in the centre square, it looks like, alongside Taranto. We haven't even mentioned Shea Bolton, who just turned it on last week. So, huge occasion. The Richmond Army have turned out to celebrate. Jade Gresham goes to him, shakes his hand and says, let's get this on. Saints and the Tigers at the MCG. We'll see you at quarter time.
And he starts right in the centre. Nankervis got it down to Taranto. The captain of St Kilda, Steele. And Gresham's going to go forward for the first time for the Saints. Max King, the body strength, got rid of Noel Bolter. No easy feat. Chance, almost a high tackle. You felt on Higgins. Free kick's going to go St Kilda's way. A little clumsy Nankervis. And Gresham can kick the first.
They're out 10 metres, thank you. Yep.
Speed of ball from St Kilda out of that centre bounce, and then really good contest by Max King to show some of that strength. And we see here, tackle slipped up over the shoulder, and
Trent, just out 2 more metres, please.
Easy for the umpire to identify that.
Jade Gresham, 10 goals, 9 for the season coming into tonight. They'll be keen to spoil the party for Trent Cotchin. Directly in front, no problems. The Saints get the first. It's Jade Gresham. Ideal start for St Kilda. Centre clearance and a very talented player, Jade Gresham, following up his work beautifully.
Well, Jack Steele started on Taranto, and we just see this contest here from Max King. A great show of strength, was just able to bring the ball forward, and then the Saints small swooped, and Jade Gresham was able to get to the ball first and was lower, drew the free kick.
JB does enjoy playing against the Tigers, Jade Gresham. His 2 biggest hauls, a 5 and a 6 both against the Tigers. 17 goals in total against the Tigers. Next best, the Dockers, 11. So off to a flyer for Gresham. Here's Taranto, who's had a monumental season. Still beaten to it by Bolton. Just didn't take it cleanly and tried to slap it on. And as far as Jack Sinclair, he runs into Taranto. Windhager with the handball around the corner. Filippo beaten to it by Rioli. The look-away handball comes unstuck. Mason Wood goes to ground and the ball gets lonely. So Rioli picks it up to Cotchin towards half-forward. Front spot, Baker. Knocks it inside the forward 50. Revolt wraps up Wilkie. Not sure where the ball is. Lodged between the two.
Looks like Windhagen's got the Shea Bolton matchup, identified him as the run and carry player, can really hurt you the other way.
Quick throw up on the outer side. Nankervis just knocks out with the defensive 50, then handballs to Rioli. Martin going to try and work the way back. Now they can. Rioli. Graham high up and under ball. Samson Ryan's trying to get there. Judson Clark too, not quite. Baker almost had it, knocked in the wrong direction. Dougal Howard saw Hill, who had a bit of space. Measures the kick, needs to be good. Finds Higgins.
We saw Liam Baker just arrive at that front and square contest there. He's on Jack Sinclair, so playing a little bit of a role on Sinclair, but also going to try and really get forward and make Sinclair try and defend as well.
Next Liam, Mitch Owens, round 4 Rising Star nominee, has been a great find for St Kilda this year. Just his 19th game out of their Next Generation Academy, and they're just edging this one down the line. Filippo put some pressure on Cotchin in game 300. Broad was able to dance that one over the line. Just in under Andrew McWalter. Joby's right back in the midfield, Trent Cotchin.
Yeah, he's put the players in their best position for the now, Lingy talked about, and it's paid off so far.
Taranto's hurried kick just bounces and stays in. Stocker flicks it over the top, gets it to Dougal Howard, now back to Battle, and again long down the line. Tigers are well placed here. McIntosh couldn't complete the mark.
So we've got Jack Steele on Tim Taranto, which is going to be a fascinating contest. And then Shea Bolton and Windhagen.
Steele's just moved himself to Cotchin, put Ross on Taranto. So Steele and Cotchin go at it quickly. Windhager to Ross, to Marshall. Found his man in the end. Windhager just steps on through and then towards full forward. King is there. Walter does a good job. Just knocks King out of the way and allows Floston to come in as short. But a great weekend in front of goals. Works it out of the defensive 50 as Hill tries to turn Graham inside out. Chance for Marshall. Beaten to it in the end. Rioli got there with strides to spare. Short kick, not ideal. Martin put under pressure, got rid of it quickly. Marshall bullets the handball. Filippo to Battle towards goal. Umpire shuffles, but not too far at all. Saints get the first 2. So the first through Gresham, then Battle gets the second. Wanganeen-Milera hobbles towards the bench. See if we can find the incident.
Just see there, Wanganeen-Milera, after that marking contest, just went down, saw St Kilda were able to cause a turnover, and a great finish from Josh Battle. But straight after that, Wanganeen-Milera came to the bench, just complaining to the doctors with his right knee he was grabbing at. It's a great goal by Battle, but worrying concerns for the young star.
Thanks, Lee. You keep updated on that. Very important player who's Wanganeen-Milera. Might be a push in the back free kick to the Saints. Stocker's going to take advantage and try and work through. Morris Rioli's lurking. He's going to get access to the footy now. Morris might have dragged it under. He's given the benefit of the doubt. There is Wanganeen-Milera getting a bit of treatment. Didn't seem to be.
Just looked like he jarred it in the turf. Hopefully, it's just a slight injury.
Desperate to get him back out there. Stocker did well to gain some territory. Nice little handball from Cotchin, winning the hard balls he's done for 300 games. Over the head of Reebok, picked up nicely. Samson Ryan, he appeared to be tripped Baker, and he looked up the umpire pleading for a free kick, and instead he has been pinned for holding the footy. Nice tackle from Dougal Howard.
Sounds like a few sitting close by disagree, and then Curvis just lost his feet in the contest. Off the head of Steele and over the boundary line. There's Wanganeen-Milera. Just have a look at this trip, Joe, or non-trip.
Just a clash of feet there. Incidental.
And Curvis suddenly has some time as Ron Marshall goes to ground. Cotchin on his left towards half forward. Morris Rioli front spot, knocked away. Battle hadn't kicked a goal since 2021. Got the second for the Saints tonight. Taranto, clever. Baker to a dangerous spot, a lonely man in Ross.
It's a really good centering kick, because Brad Hill had the goal square guarded. We just see here, looks up, sees that he's got a spare. Brad Hill's in the right spot. He's guarding that goal square for the quick kick, but excellent centering from Baker.
Superb from Baker. Ross 2 straight for the year. First blemish. Baker's 100th game last week. He's got extraordinary hands and vision, Joe, and brilliant off both sides.
Outside 5.
Jimmy Webster. Gives it back to Sinclair.
Outside 5.
The reigning best and fairest winner. Many Saints fans feel he's going even better this year.
Back 2 metres.
To Crouch.
Playing with real confidence, Sinclair, isn't he?
Spending a little bit more time in the midfield as well. Had some real flair as the long ball came down the line from Ross. Noah Bolter has had a very fine season as a key defender for the Tigers.
Play on, you kick.
See they're super keen to get the transfer of play going, and they work it out through Tyler Young to Samson Ryan.
This is that style that St Kilda like to play, force you down the line.
It's a well-placed kick from Ryan. McIntosh probably should have taken the mark. Stocker trying to guide it to Mason Wood, just couldn't keep it in.
What they were able to do was slow the ball movement down, and they forced Richmond to go wide, slow, and then they can defend that. They can come up and press and get the intercept like they did.
Some good signs on the Saints bench here, guys. Wanganeen-Milera has been doing some warm-ups, sitting there. I reckon he'd be ready to go pretty soon.
Thanks, Lingy. Mason Wood had a second crack at it. Dylan Grimes intercepted, moved it on to Rioli, who goes to Ross. At half-back, he kicks short to Butler, and Butler receives, kicks, and goals. It was delivered perfectly to the Butler. It's hard to think that that could happen so quickly. At half-back, contemplating where to next. 15-metre ball into the hands of the opponent, 2 steps and goal. And I guess at this point you're thinking, how do I get swallowed up and out of here?
They were teammates at Richmond, in fairness, home.
Yeah.
Might have been a bit of muscle memory in that.
We just have a look at when this ball shifts, what St Kilda do so well. They own the outside, which forces the Richmond kicker to come back inside, and that's where the turnover. They're so disciplined at getting to the outside first, St Kilda, forcing you back through numbers and mess and creating turnovers.
2 of their 3 goals already, Joe. St Kilda are from turnovers. Here's Sinclair. Powerful start this from the Saints. They're really got the game on their terms at the moment. Bradley Hill, the running man, cuts back inboard. One-on-one Max King. He's dangerous. Bolted it very well. Timed his body work to perfection. Didn't give away the free kick. There's tower of strength down there, playing all the big forwards. Trying to crash through Graham. Eventually got it to Cotchin. Now Martin. Taranto was immediately tackled by Ross. This is the surge play. The Tigers are trying to get going, but they've turned it over again. The Saints. Sinclair has been really prominent. Well-weighted kick. And Owens has got it maybe just outside his range. Loads up to the goal square. Max King again. Big launch. I'm going to grab Max King. How exciting is that? 3 games back, he's kicked 11 goals. And he's jumped on top of heads. He looks superb.
Look at that elevation. Such a big man. So athletic. Just a beautiful leap and mark off the back again of St Kilda being able to create forward half turnovers.
It's the first 10 games with a shoulder injury in the pre-season. He's kicked 11-2 in his 3 games prior to tonight. Max King, a big hanger and a big goal and a nice celebration. The Saints have kicked the first 4. What a great credit to Max King. Missed that big an amount of football, come back in. He looks in as good as form as he's ever been. What a great shot that is. Damien Hardwick here tonight for Trent Cotchin's 300th game. Talking to Mick Malthouse, Wayne Campbell, Richmond superstar behind Dimmer.
And just again, Richmond, St Kilda being able to create those forward half turnover. Ross comes in, closes the space, forces more mess, and then just the forward 50 entry when you've got a target like this who can run and jump and catch it the way that Max King can. You want to get it to him as quickly as possible.
Owens finds himself in the middle of the ground doing the ruck work. Here's Ross, who just takes a little off the kick, wants Samson Ryan, this time finds his man. Low, dangerous sort of a ball towards full forward, out the back. Battle, who's become a goal scorer tonight, keeps it in, did well, handball to Wilkie. He doesn't do quite as well. Dustin Martin, capable. Dangerous spot, Bolton. Called the player, needs to run on, kick the goal. He kicks and goals. Oblique, there are some calls for touch from Webster. Webster was on the ground claiming a touch, but I don't know how convinced he is that he touched it himself. Bolton, I thought, might have been slightly more aware of the fact that he needed to get going. Stopped completely in the square. He's got the speed to keep on rolling. Got away with it in the end. First for the Saints.
Just that turnover there. Dusty does the discipline, centres it, and everyone stops thinking Bolton's taken the mark. So dangerous around goal. Create something out of nothing.
Not an easy finish in the end, that, from Joe Bolton. Once he realised he had to play on, he's so classy. Ball in hand. The Saints edge it forward, picked up by Cotchin, floats one high to centre forward. Good luck marking that. Stocker with the defensive spoil. Got some support back there by Battle. Bradley Hill working overtime as he always does. Jack Steele. And their ball use early has been pretty sound. The Saints. Dan Butler, premiership player with the Tigers. Clever little 1-2, and he found a bit of space. They get their own running game going here, St Kilda. Ross tumbles it to the line, and they're going to reset inside forward 50. And some of the all-time great Tigers, you can see Damien Hardwick, brilliant to see him. Mick Malthouse, Wayne Campbell, the legend. Francis Burke, the great Kevin Bartlett.
The who's who of Richmond.
It is.
KB's just checking his handball stats. We'll be happy to see the number 29 kick a goal. Wayne Campbell, he was the previous number 9.
He was.
At the Tigers before Koch, rested for a few years. They thought, here's a man that will wear it well. No, right. Miller charges at the ball, then just reels it back in. Did well. Judson Clark needs to be clean. Clever little handball to Ross, but didn't get to him on the full. Got there in the end. Jaden Short on the back foot towards the wing. Samson Ryan knocks it down. Baker, as always, clean. On the left finds Cotchin. To Prestia. Forward. Rioli's lurking about the place. Keeps his feet. Mason Wood charges at him. Rioli puts it to a little bit of space. McIntosh got it, then got clobbered over the shoulder. Not seen by the umpire, and they'll ball it up about 35 from home.
That's better ball movement from Richmond, though. It's more powerful out of congestion, and it's going forward, giving themselves an open 50 and options to work into.
Baker jams it forward, guided over the line for a rush behind by Howard. Let's start this from the Saints. Casual approach out of fullback. Tilda Howard, the Tiger Army, still remembering that they only had 3 kicks till three-quarter time last week. And let's get down to Cameron Link.
Well, I did say before the game that it was beautiful conditions. It still is right now, but that is on the way. So we might be getting wet soon. It probably highlights how important that St Kilda start has been. Kicking the 4 goals straight to start the game. Really important to make the most of it while it's a dry ball, while it's perfect conditions, because we might be getting wet soon.
Thanks, Lingy. Crouch to Hill. Back to Crouch. Wanganeen-Milera back on the ground. Good to see. Kick not ideal to Ross. He works his way around, then into the pocket. Little chance for Miller, taken cleanly and brilliantly by Stocker. Towards half-back. Marshall back on the ground. Owens will be pleased that he is. Ross fumbles it towards Stocker. Butler taken high. Butler to Hill. He'll in turn to Crouch. Clark closes down. Crouch easily gets the kick down the line to Philippo. Handball's in turn to Ross. Onto his left he goes. Owens out the back, little chance. Gresham, he's got one, wants another, but whistle goes the way of the Tigers. Into the hands of Broad.
Nathan Broad served a 4-week suspension earlier in the year. His 3 flags in his first 70 games are a record in the AFL era. A huge part of this Tigers' success in recent times. Bradley Hill, they go back inside 50 again, the Saints. And there is Nathan Broad, who gets it rolling. Flostone. Daniel Rioli, the look-away handball, okay to McIntosh. Out wide to Dustin Martin. Daniel Rioli's run on. They're going to get back involved. This is how the Tigers want to move it. Keep surging forward. They've worked it back to McIntosh. Now back to Dustin. Could not be in better hands. 55 metres out to the goal square. Big, powerful, booming kick, and he's got it.
Behind. Can I just make sure it's touched before crossing the goal line? Score review. Umpire's call is touched. All clear. Please confirm.
Goal up by David Roden.
D-Rod's got it right.
Review underway. He's in a great spot to see that.
Review complete. Looking at this angle, we can see the ball is touched by the St Kilda defender before crossing the back of the goal line. Decision on the scoreboard.
Terrific passage of play from Richmond. The theatre was spoiled by the St Kilda outstretched hand, but that's the style in which they want to move the ball.
Knowing David Roden, he would have loved to have seen the goal sail through too. He loves the theatre of all. Good call. Wilkie.
First drafted to Richmond. Yeah. From the Calder Cannons, Dave Roden.
Wanganeen-Milera runs on the line and then towards some tall timber. Caminiti and Wood are part of all of that. Philippo has his handball stolen. Prestia to Baker. His kick finds Rioli. He gets a knock to the head from Howard.
Clear out.
Dustin Martin was keen for a handball. Butler was up to Martin's antics. Now short. It was a thumping kick of the football. Gets close. Kicks it long. He's in good goal-kicking form. What a monster. There's a few players, Joe, we've been watching in the last few weeks. Farrell from Port Adelaide. McKenzie from Port Adelaide. And this man here just gets such easy power.
So fluent with the ball drop, isn't he? Just see here being able to change the angle of the ball and then lowering the eyes. And how's this finish from well outside 50? Just hit it so sweetly.
He just times the kick to perfection, Jaden Shaw. It doesn't look like he ever overkicks the ball. He kicked 3 goals in their win last week over the Fremantle Dockers. Nice response from the Tigers. Here come the Saints through Philippo. Max King got out in front, and look at the hands. And he gets in the face of Noah Bolter. Says, have a look at that, Noah.
Let it go. Clear out. 10 metres. He's going to give you a fucking mark. They're out.
Bit of swagger about Max King at the moment. All the big key forwards have got that strut, and he's just letting him know that he's got the strength to do that.
Just the concentration on where the ball was landing, the confidence in his body as well to hold off, keep his eyes on the ball drop.
Oh, a great side for Saints fans. Max King with a big contested mark. His second one of the night and his second goal. Brilliant. I just feel like Max King is emerging before our eyes. Incredible return from a 10-week injury, and that's a great start for him.
We just watch this forward entry again, and just the strength of Max King. We know the athleticism there, but he's got the confidence in his body, done a lot of work in the gym, and now he's converting. 13 goals, 2 so far this year.
2 marks, 2 kicks, 2 goals for King. They're 5 straight. They're off again, the Saints. Bouncing ball. Tyler Young deals with it pretty well initially, then kicks, hopes. And on the outer side, it's left to Baker, who in the end went over the top. Might have been Judson Clark who was there first. Crouch. Kick just falls short to Gresham.
A bit happening off the ball here. Jack Higgins and his old teammate. That was Noel Bolter and Max King, after Max King holding the Sharon in his face, and there's a bit going on with Dylan Grimes and Jack Higgins as well. So some fireworks in this one all of a sudden. Here's Shea Bolton, genuine A-grader in the game. Oh, the Saints defenders roll back. They're so good behind the footy. Wanganeen-Milera, good to see him back out. There was a courageous kick. Grimes has gone at it full chest and almost scooped it over the top. Morris Trioli, open goal square. Too unselfish in the end, and then Baker looks back and points.
Should he have kicked a goal then, Joe?
I think he's got the right to kick a goal then. That will come as he plays more AFL level football. You have the confidence just to back your skill in.
Marshall leans around the front to Mason Wood, to Crouch, and for the moment towards the wing, but it will come back. Well, no, maybe not. Grimes, unusual and uncharacteristic mistake, left it behind, and then back to his task. Wraps up Mitch Owens.
Richmond dominating around the clearances, 12-7, getting on top around the ball. Area concern, if I'm the Richmond coach, is I'm not putting any real heat on in my forward 50. St Kilda are able to get the ball out quite easily. We wanting to try and tighten up and put some more pressure on, create some better forward half turnovers.
And Curvis in the end, but only as far as Steele, but the Tigers through Ross will push forward again.
Jack Ross playing some consistent footy with the Tigers, and Trent Cotchin, beautiful strong hands. Game 300. Disposal number 11 coming up for Trent Cotchin. He's always been, Joe, a really good overhead player for his size.
Yeah, always really strong as a midfielder overhead and able to kick goals.
300th game. Searching for career goal 139. This is going to bring the house down to the MCG, to the punt road end. Trent Cotchin's got it. Brooke celebrates. They love it. He's always had a sense of occasion too, Trent Cotchin. His premiership coach Damien Hardwick here. Brilliant to see him enjoying the evening, and he's been able to capture the big moments so regularly across his career. Trent Cotchin, big goal.
Straight back.
Got the run up from outside 50, and really important goal, and great to celebrate with his team and the family.
Elation from Brooke. I heard Pete and Kath talking about their son Buffer. I hadn't heard that in 16 seasons. It comes out after 299 games. Martin, a little toe poke, and Hager did similar. So too Crouch. Brilliant hands from Graham to Martin. Taranto unstuck. Sinclair comes through. Going to pitch it about half forward into the hands of Gresham. Turns around quickly. Who are the options? Deepest is King. Well done, Bolter, who have been keen to win that battle after the biff. Agitation.
Excellent positioning from Bolter there. Took front position, backed himself in.
It's going to be a great contest to enjoy for the rest of the night. Noel Bolter and Max King. Jaden Short searching for McIntosh. Burns did well to keep front possession. Picked up by Filippo. Over the top, Josh Battle kicked his first goal of the season a little while ago. Max King again. He's throwing some rate around Max, and Noah Bolt is a fine athlete in his own right. Did well. Got it to Dusty, who just puts it out into space. Shane Warnstein, side wing. Judson Clark did well to get back onto his natural left foot. Baker launches, brilliant mark over Sinclair. Another good matchup to watch. Noted by his peers as the AFL Players Association most courageous player last year. Baker, big bomb again. Jaden Short. He is deadly with his second goal. It takes you by surprise because you think it's a normal player with a footy in hand, and anything from about 70 out, his
eyes light up.
Unbelievable timer of the footy.
Really good stretch from Baker, and then Richmond teammates, they identify who they want the ball in their hands, and from 2 steps, just so sweet off the boot.
Equal career high 3 goals last week, all of them from beyond the arc. 2 tonight, both from long range. So back to 3 points. The Saints lead 5 straight. The Tigers have started to pepper the goals. They've kicked the last couple. Here's Judson Clark.
The ball's in motion more. It's starting to feel more like a Richmond style of game.
Clark gives it everything he's got. Battle tries to get involved, knocks it away from Samson Ryan. Webster's got Bolton to deal with and didn't let him slip past.
One of the things about Richmond since McWalter's taken over is their efficiency inside 50. They're the #1 ranked scores per 50 inside 50 percentage, and already 7 shots on goal from 14 inside 50s.
And Curvis knew where Bolton was. Webster went with Bolton and got there first. Now Baker, normally pretty clever, did well. Clean pick up, ball smothered. Taranto out of the air, kicks to the right. 2-point game. The record, Crouch 14 touches. Next best on ground, Cotchin with 11.
Saints had a 23-point lead in this first term, back to just 2 now. Great start to Saturday night footy. Sinclair shapes out the members' wing side. Filippo trying to find a free kick. Rioli, that's Morris to McIntosh, tracking the boundary line, can't keep it in.
From a St Kilda side of things, they're going to have to be less predictable in terms of who they go to in their inside 50 entries. King's going to draw a lot of attention. They're going to have to find other avenues to divide that ball up and be less predictable going forward.
Nice moment, Trent Cotchin to Jack Ross. Thanks for that one. I appreciate that in game 300. Clearing kick from Burns. Here's King and Bolter. Brilliant to watch those two go head to head. Prestia tracking it. Dumps the kick to centre forward. Courageous effort getting back was Marshall. Dougal Howard in trouble. Taranto's pressure, outstanding shape. Bolton, you know he'll kick it, and he does. Tigers have got the lead. Bolton's got a couple. Last 3 goals of the game with Richmond. Contrast in style has been on display. It was all the Saints on their terms in the first part of this first quarter. The Tigers are now back in front.
9 scores to 5. The Saints got the first 4 goals of the night.
We just talked about being more unpredictable going forward, but Richmond know that the ball's going there, so they swamp towards Max King, and then the ability from Taranto to turn the ball over in their forward half, and then Bolton with the finish.
A couple for the night for Shea Bolton, 18 for the year. Marshall's kick doesn't really go too far at all, up to Filippo to clean things up. Windhager came through, Taranto left with a football. Baker eases it towards Broad, sidesteps, comes inside, little handball to Flostone. Now towards half forward. Taranto again. Sinclair lost track of it. Out of the air, into the hands of Ben Miller. Directly in front. This to make it 6 for the first turn.
And the ball's just constantly moving forward from the Richmond side of things. They're just wanting to get the ball forward, get St Kilda under as much pressure as quickly as they can.
So with a straight kick, it'll be 6 of the last 7 of the turn. They did trail by 23 points. It's a big finish. Another to the punt road end. What a time. Tigers by 10.
Go over them and kick it through. Great game. 10 points the margin in favour of the Tigers. We'll be back at half-time.
Now the Tigers watching on as Trent Cotchin plays his 300th and a quarter time. So far, the movie started well if you're a Tigers fan. Up by 10 points after trailing by 23 in the first term. Rioli, Flostone, got trouble coming from behind in the form of Caminiti, but got the football away in the end, only as far as Mason Wood. Wood to Wilkie. Continues to front up week after week, Wilkie. Game 98 without miss. Over the wing on the outer side. King is about to place. So too Bolton with speed. Just lost his feet. Gave it to Rioli as he went to ground. Now Grimes at halfback. Wedge between 3 Saints. Has time to kick the ball long. Hopes for Revolt.
Holding. Richmond.
Revolt gets the free kick.
Revolt 1 goal away from going past the great Kevin Bartlett as number 3 all-time on the Richmond goal-kicking list behind Matthew Richardson and Jack Titus.
Yep.
Miller's heavy collision. Sinclair took that really well under a lot of pressure. Miller slow to get up.
Play on.
Just an outstanding player. Jack Sinclair has become super consistent. Broad read it well out the back. Cotchin in game 300 winning enormous amount of the footy. That was disposal number 12. Beautiful hands from McIntosh. Releases Graham. Bouncing footy, getting back Howard. He'll be happy to just nurse that over the line and disguised it well enough.
Toby.
Trent Cotchin 11 in that opening term. Only 9 times in his career he's had more in an opening term. So 11 plus a goal. Nice start to a milestone match. Can they do the important part and win over the 4 quarters? Bolton with speed. Handball's wide. Saw McIntosh. He sees Rioli. Gets to about 45. Straightens up unselfishly to Cotchin.
Their speed around the ball is causing the Saints all kinds of problems. It's 18-9 clearances, and Richmond are just able to get the ball in motion from stoppages and then find the free further down the field.
Only had 4 for the year coming in. 3 against the Cats, 1 against the Crows. This for his second. How about that? Never going to miss. Might sign an extension. Amazing to think almost 1,200 Tigers have played VFL AFL football. Only 5 have got to 300 before Koch. Rare company. Not 100% sure Brooks saw that one.
We just see here they're really dominating St Kilda out of the stoppages, Richmond. They're just getting on the fly, getting on the move, and that's starting the chain of ball movement for them and keeping the ball in motion. We see Koch able to get out of the stoppage as well.
His career high best 5 goals in game 122. Trent Cotchin against the Saints started superbly in game 300. A couple of early goals. Taranto, Broads coughed that one up. Hill was awake to the challenge, and now they can get an opportunity 4 to 50 here. The Saints. It was a bit of a shin kick from Stocker. Flostone accepted it through the corridor to Prestia. Wanganeen-Milera appears to be showing no ill effect from that early twist of the knee out the back. Noah Bolter and Max King. That is a battle that we're going to enjoy. Mark has been taken by Ross. Much improved wingman for the Tigers. He finds Prestia.
Seven of the last 8 goals away with the Tigers. It has been impressive after the Saints kicked the first 4 and led by 23. Howard trying to get a fist on the ball, missed it, then went to ground, left it behind. Chance for Steele. Steele wants Wanganeen-Milera, found him, but Wanganeen-Milera left it behind, and Martin then sees something he likes. Loops it over the top to Flostone. Gets himself some space and works it towards half forward. Howard went to ground. Miller left it behind. Cotchin keeps getting the football. Gave it off to Morris Rioli. His kick almost perfect. Graham, big collision, left it behind. Marshall sweeps a handball. Wood's got to be quick. Little fumble, got rid of it in the end, and it's tailor-made for Nankervis.
Straight back. For holding to Wanganeen-Milera, who wants to get moving straight away. Max Key's got out the back. Flostone's got to be really quick. Max has got it. Releases to Butler. Open goal square. Dan Butler against his old side. Kicks his second. That's a big goal right against the flow of play. Smart play from Wanganeen-Milera to get it moving. And that breaks a run of 5 unanswered goals for the Tigers. So a timely one from Dan Butler.
And it looked like Nankervis was about to get them rolling again and push forward. So it was a huge swing at half forward, half back for the Saints.
Just see Grimes just taking Wanganeen-Milera out of the play, and then he plays on really quickly. Really important. St Kilda against the run of play, able to hit the scoreboard, and their efficiency is keeping them in this so far.
Gresham and Battle have 1 apiece. Butler and King 2 each. Nankervis full stretch, Crouch in the best position. At speed, unloads.
Holding, Dylan Grimes. Holding. Stand, please. Play on. You kick.
Plays a Ray. Telling everyone what just happened. Grimes gets the free kick, works it to the outer side as Martin just off the back foot launches towards the wing. Marshall finds Steele. Steele inside to Hill with a bit of speed. From about 75, Max King's got Bolter. Bolter has Owens, and Owens has Tyler Young, and Tyler Young has the football. Now Owens gets up and tries to get rid of it. Couldn't quite. Delicately poised, Tigers by 10.
Competitor Mitch Owens. He loves the one-on-one battle. Almost manufactured a goal in that situation. Capable of doing some ruck work as well. Here he is against Nankervis. Crouch leads in the race. Taranto from behind. And you just see that change in tackle there, Joe. Really careful about how you approach the tackle.
Standing up yourself and keeping your opponent upright as well to make sure that you don't cause any damage with the turf there.
Just pointing out a couple of things to Dusty Martin. And then Curvis has grabbed that, wrapped it up. No prior opportunity. Just the way that's adjudicated. Let's get down to Lingy. Might see a bit of rainfall, Lingy.
Yeah, just a couple of drops at the moment, Das. Light rain. We're expecting that to build a fair bit, but at the moment still pretty light, so the player's still handling the footy pretty well.
Short to the outer side. Judson Clark not quite able to take it cleanly. Sinclair could and goes towards Butler. Butler short, a good battle. Coming through Taranto, helping out, giving it to McIntosh. To the outer side, the ball sails off hands. Mason Woods, the beneficiary. Into the pocket, he sends it. King. Little chance, big bounce. Not quite.
Been a better passage of play for St Kilda. Some repeat forward 50 entries off the back of turnovers as the rain starts to set in.
You pack a jacket, Cameron?
Got a lovely warm jacket and a nice tarp across the knee, so I'm sorted.
Okay.
The players are now going to have to adjust. They've just Richmond won't mind it. They love the cast ball. St Kilda are the ones who are probably going to have to adjust to the conditions now.
Making sure immediately just dump it as long as he can, and always interested to see who does it that sooner the changing conditions. Short, put his head underneath. That's good umpiring.
Ball up, mate. Sorry, lowered. Sorry, my bad. Good, Dan. Well done.
Start Toby Short has had with 2 big bombs from outside 50 that were goals. And then Curvis. Dusty tried to slam it forward. Seb Ross the other way, not 15. Baker thought it was far enough to claim the mark. Dusty Martin, I think he said they won't mind this at all, the Tigers. Just surge it forward. A little bit slippery there to handle. You can see from Howard. Finding onto it, Graham. Bolton, it has become slippery already. Hard to pick up. Graham eventually does. Slapped out of his hands by Windhager. And it's trapped right on the wing. And the AFL logo here on the member side of the MCG.
And that situation there with the ball in the contest, that's where Richmond want to just knock it on. Just get it forward, just surge it forward.
Rioli couldn't find his boot, so the Saints a chance here from the centre circles now. Hill. Lead kick to Marshall.
Outside 5. Play on, play on.
Phillippa and Windhager streaming towards full forward. Long way round to Seb Ross.
Outside 5, outside 5. Play on.
Phillippa and King at full forward, but it's a poor sort of a kick. Marshall ends up with the ball in his hands. I'm not quite sure how that all played out in the end. Ross bemused. Goal needs to be kicked.
Well, accident, I think, is how it played out, Hammer. I don't think that was where Ross was intending the ball to go. Just slid off the side of his boot, but Marshall, the beneficiary, in the right spot.
Bit harsh on cousin Seb there, Job. I think summed it up well.
So Rowan Marshall, game 99. Margin is 9. Now it's 8.
Game has felt better if you're a St Kilda supporter over the last 5 minutes. There's less motion of the ball. It's slower, more of a style in which they want to play.
Great arm wrestle this one, a contrast in styles, and now you've got the rain thrown is another factor. Fullback, long bomb from Vlosten. He ends it into the lap of, ends up in the lap of Prestia. Going back and taking a good mark with the flight was Rowan Marshall.
Really important for Marshall to get involved around the ground, be a link up, work off Nankervis when he's in the ruck. He's got the capacity to do that.
He averages 19 disposals. Rowan Marshall is high ball winning ruckman. As Joe pointed out, well, it's dangerous opportunity. Jack Rewalt sensing a chance here. Josh Battle, nervous moment. Jack goes back after it, picked up though by Dustin Martin. Thought about the handball to Rioli. Good defensive effort. Mason Wood getting back. The high work rate. Wanganeen-Milera, those had his kick partially smothered, thrown out by McIntosh. Martin with an open goal square, looks up and hits the post.
That sideways kick short in these kinds of conditions. Just a recipe for disaster if you're St Kilda. Play the percentages, especially when you're in your back half.
Wanganeen-Milera just asking for a dry ball. Don't often see that. Now Webster. A nervous moment for him. His kick in front of Windhager, not quite. Windhager has an opportunity to go back at it, but Cotchin gets there first. Phillippo, fumble again from Windhager. Little one over the top to Ross, to Phillippo. Phillippo towards King again. Caminiti's deepest. Off hands, Young, got it to ground. Higgins, ridden hard by Vlosten. Ross picked it up, gave it off to Bolter. Heard the umpire, players did too, keen to play on. Ross went to ground. Ross from the other side did the tackling, and then it just trickles over in front of Phillippo. So the rain coming, things getting harder to handle.
That's what they need from Caminiti, that contest in their forward line, just to bring the ball to ground, be predictable, let the smalls get around it to the feet and work off that. They can't afford to set marks in their forward 50, St Kilda.
Really helps Max King as well. Joe doesn't have that second target. Competing well. Hill stripped out of his hands by Prestia. Nice surging handball to Baker, and Dusty We know how capable he is as a forward. Jack Rewalt, the next target down the line. Beyond his range, Dusty, signalling for some movement that he wants, and then the centering kick. McIntosh was the area he was going. Pushed out Mason Wood. Wood's second effort, really good, and he's drawn the free kick against Judson Clark. A really strong season, Mason Wood. A real professional, great aerobic athlete.
Filippo found himself all on his lonesome on the outer side. Webster. There's the ball lobbed over the top. Rain continues to tumble down, not as heavy as it has been, but quite persistent. Webster. His kick's going to hit the turf and skid into the hands of Tyler Young, who continues to roll and kicks brilliantly to Judson Clark. He sweeps the handball to Short, who's already got a couple tonight. Thumps the ball into the pocket again. Off the hand of Battle. Howard picks it up. Wilkie. Wanganeen-Milera hears it. He keeps on going. Kicks to Hill. Gets it back from Hill. And the kick over the top to running Higgins.
A beautiful kick from Wanganeen-Milera. Off balance, able to find the target.
He's got for the IQ, Joe, doesn't he? Just sums up the game well. Bolter has had the better of Max King since the Sharon was held in his face. Max gets a wing back there, kicked the first 2 goals. It's an enthralling contest. The big key defender and the gun key forward, Caminiti, from the side. They're going to bounce back, and Anthony Caminiti, clever goal, got it off the ground. That is huge for the young Saint. In his 10th game, he kicks his 12th goal. He's working a couple of casual hospitality jobs at the start of this year. Anthony Caminiti, brilliant to see his development.
He's working in a restaurant or
making a few coffees.
Might have been at the grill on the hill, I think.
Fascinating contest. Bolter beats him there, and then the quick inside 50 turnover, and then goes to take the tacklers on. Free kick paid, and then a really good contest from Caminiti. Keeps his feet, and he's going to have to hit the scoreboard, or at least provide a contest in that role.
Holding. Trent Cotchin. Holding. Cotchin. Time back on when he gets it. Stand. Come on. Play on.
Cotchin's had a big opening half. Samson Ryan flew out the back with speed. Stocker beating him to it. Howard caught him out of it and then gave it off to Wanganeen-Milera. Into the middle. Cotchin again. Disposal 17 coming up. A couple of goals to his name. Bolter.
Just forward of the footy here. Samson Ryan still really sore from that marking contest. He's trying to get back to contest this one again.
Thanks, Lingy. Bolter into the pocket. Miller's there. So too Revolt. Neither could handle the football.
He's going to be forced to do the ruck here, I reckon. No, he's just too sore. He was going to try and make his way over to the ruck contest. That was the marking contest where it was done, but he's going to stand in the goal square, but I reckon they want to get him off.
It was a big launch at the footy, wasn't it? Samson Ryan, since his knee got jolted pretty badly on landing. Rich Owens put his head down and tried to burrow through. A brilliant effort from Ryan to just will himself into the contest. That's a good sign that he's got up and moving as freely as he is. Back in again. It's just following him, the footy at the moment. Crouch. Shea Bolton capable of absolutely anything. That would have been something. Even he couldn't find a way to get that through.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Dougal. Play on.
Samson Ryan, Lingy just keeping an eye on him. He's just hobbling around about 30 metres from goal. He doesn't look comfortable at all, does he?
No, he doesn't, but he looks like he's going to stay out there. He might get a sneaky little one here. Long in the goal square, he wants it.
Movement is better when the ball's around him. Let's see how it is here. Coming in his direction. Out the back it goes. Camden McIntosh, what sort of a soccer player? The answer's pretty good. Back of the net. Mickey Malloy. I think that's a happy tiger. Concerned Saint.
Just have a look at McIntosh at the bottom of the screen. His opponent goes into the contest. He keeps his width and gets rewarded for it. He plays such an unselfish role along that wing, running from back 50 to forward 50 all day. And that discipline to keep his width there, he got rewarded.
Cotchin outstanding in game 300. Disposal number 18. He's kicked 2 goals. Wilkie couldn't trap it. Jimmy Webster's kick will work out okay in the direction of Jack Steele. Got some support there provided by Hill. Kick was dangerous, and Maurice Rioli, he made it look like a dry day with that one-hander. Back to Cotchin. Jack Graham just about back himself, Jack Graham.
On the side here. Mitch.
Quite Jaden Short kicking length, but he's not far off at Jack Graham, and he's going to give it a big ride. He knew that he had the journey. It's got all the way to the line. It just dropped short. Maurice Rioli picked it up, bending it, drifting it. Almost something miraculous.
Tell you what, Trent Cotchin is enjoying this run through the midfield. Up to 19 disposals, 2 goals. Finding the ball, being really efficient with it.
28 last weekend as Baker goes again. How did that happen? Well, Butler was on the end of a gift earlier. This time Baker feeds off the error. And the rain now starts to get serious.
Just see here, as the conditions change, players have to adjust. They have to be more conservative out of your back 50. You're just not able to execute the same skills as what you were.
Cal Wilkie's arguing the point that you called stand. How did he move when I kicked it? And it's fair point that he raises there, Cal Wilkie. Credit to Liam Baker, who made it happen. Saints for the reply. Philippu's a big penetrating kick as well, all the way to the goal square. King back there, Gresham desperate to keep it in. Butler in a confined space, Rioli. And Graham, in fact, it was who just was able to usher him over for a boundary throw-in.
Bucks, Toby and Mitch. Thank you, guys.
Just looking at Cotchin's numbers, the last time Cotch had 20 or more to half-time, Tigers hadn't won a flag for 36 years. He and that man changed things. 19 for the moment, Cotchin. Windhager unable to do something miraculous. And suddenly a 17-point lead. Pretty handy as things get heavy.
Very heavy, very wet. Who's going to adjust? St Kilda now, they keep wanting to kick the ball short, but when they've got in their forward 50, here's a chance to just scrap away and find a scrounged goal.
Well, Bolton is very Richmondy, just move it on. Revolt tries to do the same. Little chance for Gresham. Lost it in the Cotchin tackle, but called high, so the Saints can push forward.
Stand.
Through Gresham, who got their first of the night. Takes a little off the kick, allows Philippo to jump at it. Short, tries to get himself out of the tackle.
If you're St Kilda, you just want to keep working, driving, see if you can perhaps win a free kick by being harder and lower. Just repeat forward 50 stoppages.
Owens. Higgins taken high, gets a free kick. He'll be about 40 out when he kicks it, maybe a little closer.
Just caught him high.
Please move out. Stand now, buddy.
Doesn't have one yet tonight. Jack Higgins. Just to make an 11-point game. Round the corner, pulls it a long way, but David Roden doesn't have to shuffle as far to signal a point. It is an 11-point game. And the tensions all night have been high.
Let's go, boys. Starting positions.
Jaden Short takes on 4 Saints. Jack gets his first. Gets the Saints 8th. And brings it under 2 goals. The Saints, if you've just tuned in and been out for the night, did lead by 23. Get the first 4 of the evening.
Really good finish here, and it has been a bit chippy. There's some old teammates playing against each other tonight, and they're certainly letting each other know about it, and makes for good viewing.
Dan Butler and Jack Higgins, the former Tigers, getting amongst it. Oh, just landed in the lap of Graham, and he saw Judson Clark put it out in front of him. Good pick up with the wet footy. It was a high degree of difficulty on the run. He put it out of bounds on the full. We had heavy rain here at the MCG. Good pressure from Toby Nankervis that forced the error.
You can really see on that slow motion the kind of conditions that the players are faced with. It is driving rain out there.
Broad with a defensive spoil. Bradley Hill is happy to wander over for a boundary throw-in.
They've been so miserly this year, St Kilda, conceding an average of 69 a game. Already given up 61. Nothing unusual so far. Crouch cannot get any distance on his kick. Windhager gets bullish. Now Sinclair on the left towards the wing. Chance for Mitch Owens. Had his hands on it, but then lost it again. Quickly Gresham puts boot to ball. A bit of a wait in the end, and then just gets left behind Tyler Young. Butler, we want a third. He looks about who are the options. It's a long wait in the end for Wood. McIntosh got involved. Short picks it up, drives the ball back into the middle of the MCG, skips over a couple of players into the hands of Miller. Handballs towards Samson Ryan. Seagulls fly everywhere, and so too does the ball. It sails out of bounds on the full.
That Butler example, in these kinds of conditions, you go for goal. Tried to do the right thing, but it's hard to execute when there's teeming rain.
Yeah, that's spot on, Joe. You've just got to play to the conditions now, St Kilda. Look, even searching here, they want to kick the ball short. They've got to be prepared to get some numbers down the line, go long, and then get to the contest.
Free kick going the Saints' way. Tejas Philippo played that well. Worked down the line as Cameron Ling suggested. He's the go-to here in wet conditions, and they go further down the line now, gaining some territory. Good mark. Tyler Young, just his 10th AFL game. He only really seriously started playing footy back in 2019 at North Albury. Great development path he's had. Tiger fans are starting to get a bit restless again. They go forward with this kick. Chance for Dusty down there. He was waiting at ground level. The Saints so organised in getting back, and Hill covering the territory as he does. Good courage from Windhager. Crouch trying to surge it forward. Owens did well. Tried to don't argue. And Shea Bolton said you're not getting past. Play on. Immediately down the line, Samson Ryan. Edged underneath it by Dougal Howard. Still got to be careful back here with a wet footy. Wilkie just wants it out of there and gets it as long and far as he can.
Nankervis gets about 20 metres on the punch. Ends up with Ross, who gives it to Martin. 20 metres from home. Howard fills the gap. To Webster. Wilkie.
Play on.
Front spot Caminiti has a second bite at it. So 40 seconds left before half-time. It has been a 17-goal opening half. Tigers trailed by 23, lead by 11. Saints towards half forward. Owens is in the middle of all of that, and then the handball from Rioli went as far as short. He in turn to Flostone. 25 seconds left. Off a fist. Ryan looks to lumber. Doesn't quite have the speed to get there. Howard misses his man. Wanted Webster. This might come unstuck. Bolton around the corner. Puts it in front of Miller. Settles nicely for him. Kicks and goals. How quickly did that change? Saints moving forward, hoping to make it a single-figure game. Seconds before half-time.
Just that back handball there. That's not what you want to be giving in these conditions. It's too hard to execute. You're in the back half of the ground trying to defend, and the turnover gets punished.
The reality is, Joe, we don't play in these conditions very often these days, do we? We've got the closed roof stadium around the corner at Marvel, and just haven't seen teeming rain like this too often. So it's an adjustment the players need to make. The ones that can do it quicker are going to get the advantage. 17-point lead as half-time about to sound here at the MCG. Trent Cotchin's 300th game.
Nice game of footy at the MCG, and oh, look at that. Such two big fellas helping each other up. The rain's teeming down now. 4 goals, and they've turned it out, the Tigers, to 17. We'll see at three-quarter time.
Thanks, Lingy. Second half underway. Then Curvis wraps up Windhager.
I'm going to go back the same way. Toby and Rowan.
There is Ralph Smith looking ready to go. Slapped forward nicely. Oh, Marshall, we're going to see a fair bit of this, you think. Well, these conditions not looking like changing anytime soon here at the MCG. Rain has set in. Proper wet weather footy now.
Holding, St Kilda. No advantage. So you go,
The fortunate advantage,
no advantage
wasn't taken. It's going to come back to Marcus Windhager. Long time to retrieve the footy, so it allows the Tigers time to get all their defensive numbers back in play. This line ponders what he can do in this second half. Slippery footy through the hands of Mason Wood. Broad put it out in the path. You just see how hard it is to pick up Cotchin. It's like a cake of soap already. And he tripped over his own feet there, Trent Cotchin. Sinclair tracking it back, Stocker the other way. It's just so hard to handle already. McIntosh tried to flick it in the direction of Taranto. Jack still fighting hard. Eventually it's picked up by Graham. Scrambles a kick forward, nicely handled by Miller. And then he looked up, there wasn't anything on offer. And he had it smothered off the boot.
Well, Darcy talked about it just before half-time, how foreign these kinds of conditions are for most players, given that where we play under roofs, and it is going to be the who can change, who can adjust quicker. Simple, fundamental football.
Bolton, the tackle from Windhager, outstanding. Filippo came crashing through. Grimes wanted McIntosh, too hot for him. Little toe poke from Taranto. Martin does the same. Marshall, Filippo, Crouch. Handles it pretty well in the end, and then hurriedly boot to ball. King goes back with a flight through the hands. Rioli goes up. Flostone, normally pretty assured, gives it to Prestia. He bullets it to Taranto. Happy just to kick and hope for distance in the revolt direction. In the end, Revolt outsmarted Wilkie, did really well. And then Rioli over the top. Howard has it kicked in his favour. Little handball to Wanganeen-Milera. Milera was fine, but he didn't handle it well at all. Graham on the left, sweeping it through from on score. Down to you, Lingy.
Well, from what I can see on the bench, guys, Samson Ryan there, he's not on the bench. That's exactly where he is. Now we found him. So it's Samson Ryan who's been subbed out for the Tigers. He had that little bit of an injury concern in the second quarter when he landed awkwardly from a big marking contest. So with Hugo Ralph-Smith sitting on the front row of the bench, he's into the game. Samson Ryan out.
Hugo Ralph-Smith to be injected in the game, and given the conditions, it's probably not a bad change, is it, at all for a small.
Yeah, it's the right call. You even saw when Richmond went forward there. Jack Riewoldt, such a good wet weather forward, so they need to go pretty mobile up there. And Dougal Howard again not adjusting to the conditions, giving off that extra handball when it's not needed. He's just got to bang it long from there.
Taranto trying to gain some metres.
Just got to stay low, stay in the contest. Players are going to fumble, they're going to double take. You're always going to be around the ball and got to be quick to adjust.
So by the instructions from Ross Lyon and Andrew McWalter as a new senior coach, just how dramatic they have decided to change style here. It's so slippery and wet. Good players have a habit of playing well regardless of the conditions. Caminiti can't get it out and it will be thrown up.
Trent. Over you, Rowan.
Ross not quite, almost for Filippo, and then collided with Mason Wood.
That back feed handball is one that you want to get out of the game in these conditions. You've just got to keep the ball surging forward.
30 or 40 metres from Mason Wood, at least towards half forward. Caminiti muscled it on. Gresham around the corner, only as far though as Flostone. How often have you seen that player do that for the Tigers? Bolter played on. Caminiti not able to get hold of him. Now a chance for Judson Clark. Too hot for him. Marshall goes scooting after the ball. Revolt. Keen just to move it on off the shin of Wilkie. Umpire will reload. You go Ralph Smith. About to be a run in this game. Samson Ryan done for the night.
See what Jack Revolt's intention was there, to soccer it forward. Gain the territories. Taranto puts the clamps on Seb Ross.
Time you run. Thanks, Sam.
A lot of work for big men.
You now, you!
Marshall and Nankervis going to be battling it out. Taranto has skewed that one out of bounds on the full.
Thank you. Stand, yep. You.
Stocker sends it out of the wing. Filippo got underneath it. Shea Bolton's that class player that you can see making an impact with ball in hand in these conditions.
Just looking at Taranto, they're coming into tonight 410 disposals, second only to Nick Dacos. He leads all other Tigers with 21 tonight. Brad Crouch the most on the ground with 22. Little chance for Taranto, almost. Picking himself up, Jack Steele. We started out with a pretty perfect night for football, but Cameron Ling did say the rain was on its way and it settled in about 10 minutes into the second term and hasn't stopped since. So this 3-goal lead the Tigers enjoy. Pretty handy right now. Baker athletically to his knees and up again.
Same again.
The scoring has slowed. 11 goals in the opening term. 18 now for the evening. 2 of those to Trent Cotchin. Baker at stretch, not quite. Sinclair, monumental year off the leg of Martin.
Just watching the Richmond mids around this, they're just trying to push St Kilda, their St Kilda opponents, in really close to the ruckman, and then being able to get it to the outside and play that surge footy so they can spread on them and get outside, but well read by Sinclair there.
Heavy going here at the MCG. Every possession is hard work. McIntosh happy to gain an extra couple of metres. Here is Hugo Rao-Smith. Samson Ryan, the substitute, out of the game. Appears pretty happy to be out there. Bolt with a fresh air swing. Dusty Martin off the ground. Morris Rioli approaches it and just guides it cleverly to Prestia. Further soccer off the ground. Baker over his head to Bolton. This is the surge footy. The Tigers will be desperate to get going. Clearing kick to the wing. Austin did well to try and edge Caminiti off it. Caminiti's second effort good. Got mixed up with Broad. Bradley Hill Again, trying to go back to Burns.
St Kilda pushing the
Kick
back.
has gone away of the Saints for pushing the back, I think. Bradley Hill's
Stand.
come up with a free kick.
Champion data sheets have made it official. Hugo Ralph Smith involved in the game now. Ryan officially out.
Legged. Free kick, Richmond. Dylan. Blood will Toby. No, you're sweet. Toby.
Here's the reason for the ironic cheers. Free kick to the Tigers, 6th of the night, 1st of the term. Toby Nankervis, one captain off, the other captain with the ball in hand.
Thank you. Player.
Short. Front spot. The Saint who had it knocked away. Filippo, Hill, Ross. The one-on-one is Higgins against McIntosh, and then help arrives. Bolter read it pretty well off hands in the end. His kick has to be good towards Baker. Sinclair got a hand onto it. Long ball forward. It was Dougal Howard who kicked the ball in the Masonwood direction, and then the handball comes unstuck. Nothing really doing. Flostone knew he had help on the outer side. Bolter brilliantly in the turn. Handballs only as far as Owens, and it gets knocked to McIntosh, and the boundary line has a win, and it's pretty hard going now at the MCG.
Goals scored in the first half is a bit harder than that as Damien Hardwick looks on with, sure, a great sense of pride in this group of players.
It's really coming to a territory game, and how long you can force the opposition to defend in areas they don't want to be in.
Super tough to get free at any stage and pick it up. Filippo did well, and then a little burst of speed. Worked it nicely back to Windhager. Grimes defensively. Higgins flicked it out. Tyler Young with a bit of a nervous kick. It's going to head out of bounds. They're going to call for insufficient attempt. He's not having anything to do with it. Lingy, you've got a bit of an update on Samson Ryan's injury.
Yeah, it does. So Richmond have just confirmed to us that it's an ankle injury. It's not a tactical sub, so it was from that incident in the second quarter where he looked really proppy. So out with an ankle injury.
Thanks, Lee. Taranto, little kick only as far as Windhager, who pressed pause and then lost the football. Ross couldn't clear the zone. Philippou on his left. It's a lot of distance and a lot of height, but it sails close towards the boundary line. Saints will get another look.
These forward stoppages are really going to be your best opportunities to score from, drawing free kicks by being harder and lower.
17 stoppages already this term, only 13 in the whole of the second quarter. Tough going out there at the moment. Underneath all of that is Flostone appealing to the umpire.
No, it wasn't a duck, it was a drive. It was sort of down, head down, you know what I mean?
Brendan Gale behind. So Wayne Campbell and Mick Malthouse and others coming to support one of the club's legends. Future Hall of Famer, nothing is more certain. And he's having a good night, although quieter in this third term. 20 disposals for the night, a couple of goals.
Miller guided it down nicely to Dion Prestia. Aston Martin tried to hack it off the ground. Pretty well done again from Rowan Marshall. Play on's the call, picked up by Prestia. The spiral, not the worst option in these conditions. That's tough, isn't it? Richmond Army voiced their displeasure at that. So the torpedo becomes a pretty legitimate option in these conditions, doesn't it?
It does. Bringing it out of the kit bag and line it up.
Just get that extra couple of metres with it, and goals are going to be worth their weight in gold. You feel in the second half, we haven't had a score yet in this third term. Off the hands of Rewalt. Owen's a good competitor. Now Baker off the side of his boot. Bolton always going to make you nervous. Can he pull a trick out of the trick bag? Even he couldn't keep that one in.
There we go. Rolling, Ben.
You know things are tricky when Shea Bolton's struggling to handle the football. Healthy 3-goal lead. Miller, he's been terrific tonight in front of goals. Has a couple, kicked the last, the first and the last of the second. Here's McIntosh. Mason Wood doing the tackling. Press, you got a couple of Saints to deal with. Rioli left before he'd taken the football. You sense Richmond fans know the free kick count. Right rule for Stocker.
St Kilda.
Sort of hard to argue when you see Stocker coming off with blood streaming down his face.
The direct result from what the free kick was paid on suggests that it was a high contact.
Yep. So Wanganeen-Milera now as the Saints push forward. And they find a way to goals. Ross tumbles it. Higgins has got the one-on-one battle, but he's outnumbered in a big way. Flostone back to Rioli, and Rioli sees something he likes. Bouncing ball to deal with brilliantly. Baker had to be courageous and clever. Was both of those things. Graham towards half forward. Martin and Wilkie. Wilkie and Martin. Martin through the legs of Ralph Smith. Webster lost the football. Gonski. In driving rain. Have a look at Baker here.
Unbelievable effort. Just to come across and just get the hand onto it. Fantastic desperation for Baker.
So typical Liam Baker. Brave and smart and deft touch. All in milliseconds. So Richmond so often under Trent Cotchin, the reigning champs. Here's a champ in the rain, trying to make it a 4-goal game. Shaves the post. 3 behinds for the night.
Sense those little knock-ons that Liam Baker just showed us at half-back might be the difference between a win and a loss here. Richmond desperate, and Trent Cotchin's 300th game to hold on to this lead. Free kick going against McIntosh. Mason Wood wants the footy, wants to get it moving. A couple of teammates calling for the short one. That you feel is the better option. Brilliantly done, Max King. He handed it off to Sebros. The sidestep around Baker was outstanding, but not a lot happening in the goal square.
Wonder whether St Kilda should think about evening up forward and playing someone on Vlosten. He has been the gatekeeper.
Absolutely they have to, Joe, 100%, because you don't need the extra at the contest in these conditions, because you're going to be able to split it anyway because of the fumbles. Got to stop Flosten's influence.
He's just too good, isn't he, Lee, in that role? You can see him back there already, but Butler picked it up. That's a good-looking attempt to the goal line. Rioli, brilliant. Saved the day.
Butler was looking for his third.
Good 9. Yeah, play on. Thanks, Max. Play on, play on.
Ray can yell all he likes, but Flostone was in no rush. Free kick and the 50 all in one play.
Up to the other, Daniel, up to the other umpire, buddy. Up to the other umpire. Yeah.
So the mark taken. A little agricultural, and suddenly Richmond have the ball in the middle of the ground with not too much effort. Broad as it sent in his direction. Not perfect kick, but there was a nice sit-up off the bounce, skidded into his hands. Well, again, Wilkie just left it behind, and the Tigers stay alive. Reebok good, slapping the thing around, almost for Baker to get on the end of it. Crouch kicks out of bounds on the full. So at the moment, momentum absolutely with the Tigers.
Just the intelligence of Jack Riewoldt not to take the ball in the forward 50. Just understands if I just keep it going forward, I'll create more pressure.
It's easier said than done to just change the way that you play. That's drilled into you Every single training session, the Tigers feels like they have adjusted the better so far. Rewalt couldn't complete the mark. Sinclair dumps it out of there. It was pretty well done again from Nick Vlostone. Just get it going forward at all costs. And now he carves out a bit of space. And what a goal! Brilliant effort, Nick Vlostone. Great time to kick his first goal of the season. First major of the third term. He's pumped too. And that feels like it's worth maybe 3 goals.
We talked about the influence he was having deep in defence, and then he comes forward and another turnover, and Nick Vlostone here with a crucial goal, and you just feel that the damage that he's having when St Kilda go forward is far greater than the St Kilda spare, and may be well worth to man him up and just play 7 forwards if you have to, if you're St Kilda.
Just the 28th of his career. The last goal was dream time in Darwin in 2020 for Vlostone. So suddenly the Saints have a monumental problem. Tigers by 25. He kicked the last goal. Now at half-back, he's saving the day. His kick, not ideal, but the mark was fumbled in the end. Burns let it go. And the Tigers, through Taranto, go forward. Judson Clark, little sidestep. His kick through a couple of sets of hands, knocked away by Wilkie. Ends up with Sinclair. Windhager hopes for a bit of distance, but again finds Vlostone. Couldn't take the mark, but shoveled it towards Short. Short's handball to Broad. Broad wasn't clean. Higgins, clean enough. Over the top. Caminiti left it behind. Needs to go off the ground or be clean by hand. Wasn't either of those. Pushed it to space. Broad got there first. Back into the middle of the MCG. Again, a brilliant Baker.
Saints have to kick the next goal. They go forward again, and it lands in the lap of Crouch. And this, you feel, is a massive kick. Lee, a bit of news down at ground level as well.
Yeah, I think Ross Lyons had enough of Dougal Howard not adjusting the conditions and giving handballs in the back half. He's subbed off. Cooper Sharman's about to join the game. So they're going a little bit smaller. Not much, but a little bit smaller.
Ed Crouch, 149th game of AFL football. Came to St Kilda as a free agent in 2021. It's a huge kick. Gave it a pretty good ride, but just faded late. Even 4-goal lead to Richmond.
Bolter builds his speed and then launches the football to the outer side. Up going Sharman, fresh on the ground. Judson Clark going nowhere.
Here we go. Toby, Mitch.
Stocker, who left with the blood wool not so long ago, heavily bandaged and back out onto the ground. Prestia's kick gives the Saints back possession. 6 minutes before three-quarter time. Tigers by 10 at quarter time, 17 at the long break. The Saints trailed by 4 goals. Nankervis knocks the ball forward again. Ross has a tap to him by Hill. Clever little play. Ross back onto his left. Front spot Butler. Dropped it to ground. Still wanted Gresham. Couldn't find him. Prestia came crashing through. Butler, clever, out of the air. Going back. Mason Wood, but nothing really doing. Suddenly Butler emerges with the football. He's looking for 3 and has found his 3rd. Very clever little kick. Back to 3 goals. Not done with just yet. Butler's 3rd. Saints first of the 3rd. About an anxious week for Dan Butler.
Go square, let's go.
Well, this is how they're going to score their goals, just surging the ball forward, creating mess. It's going to be hard to to defend or take intercept marks, and then off the back of it, follow up, outnumber, and keep the forays going forward. Really good take and finish from Butler, and that's the recipe.
Over the head of McIntosh. Sebros. Now they're just jamming it as long as they can down the line. Good contest from Higgins. Had to get it out broad and open the door for Butler. Gresham, really an opportunity. Beautiful pickup. Decided to go with the left boot. It ricochets in the direction of Max King, who's going to go the centering kick. A lot of Tigers numbers back there. Free kick going Richmond's way.
Richmond. Back to the 9.
What St Kilda have done is even the numbers up ahead of the footy, like Job called for before. Each time it goes in now, at least it's a one-on-one contest. Nick Floston's not there by himself, mopping it up. It just gives the Saints a chance to bring it to ground, chaos ball, put the defenders under some pressure and maybe scrounge another goal.
You see Ross Lyon issuing some instructions in the coach's box, as me and Joe had pointed out. Tigers had it on their terms for the majority of this third term. 18-point margin, very gettable. And Curvis kept it in, picked up by Prestia. Here they go, surging it forward again. Wilkie back there. He'll just dump it down the line with a floater. Hard ball to get hold of. Butler, it was a chance for Mason Wood. Got to go back and get it now. He falls over and has been rewarded for his effort with a free kick. Graham can't believe it.
Trips a call. Jack Graham disagrees. Interesting to have a look
Time is on
how it all unfolded. Can the Saints bring it back to 2 goals here? Out the back a chance. King, not quite clean. Wanted to turn and go onto his left, but left the football behind. Owens runs the handball, knocked towards Gresham. A long wait for King. King has a look at it, almost. Now Higgins tries to work his way through. Has any player got a touch on that? I don't think they have. A couple for Jack. I'd love to see a behind the goal shot of that ball, because about 6 or 7 players just watched it slide along the turf and through the goals. No one able to get a hand or a foot to it, and with that the last 2 to the Saints.
Well, just a slight change tactically with even numbers forward, and then just getting the ball forward and having even representation. And Butler really clever off the, Higgins off the ground. Butler with the goal before, and they're close enough and they've adjusted well to the conditions.
2 former Tigers, Butler and Higgins, with really important goals. Trying to smash it forward off the ground. Rowan Marshall, here's Dusty. Left foot torpedo. Stocker read it really well. And I feel like the Saints finally got their head around the conditions. Driving kick down the line. Mason Wood. Defensive spoil from Broad out in front of Filippo. Had to go back. Graham applies some pressure. Good strong tackle. Play on's the call. Mason Wood touch, play on. Dusty tried to claim the mark, and then how good was that? Just sliced his way through the traffic. Keeps running on Dusty. Clever kick off the ground. Sinclair the other way. Beautifully trapped. Got it to Butler.
Butler through the middle of the ground, goes towards full forward again. King and Bolter battle. Free kick.
Advantage, Richmond. You.
Bolter got the free kick. The Tigers took the advantage. Judson Clark happy to take on Sharman in the end, and did brilliantly to the outer side. The lone Saint is Webster.
Holding here, St Kilda.
Descent might be back, is it?
Don't do it again. Don't do it again. Got a big fistful of jumper on table, I see.
Had a fistful of jumper on that angle. Perhaps the umpire didn't have the benefit of seeing it the other side.
So 50 metres for Webster as a result of Shea Bolton arguing with Ray Chamberlain. The Tigers have got the numbers around the ball here. Off the ground they go. Rioli Watches as Stocker picks it up, and then the tackle's applied over the top. Full stretch, Graham couldn't take it cleanly. Crouch did well. Off to Windhager, towards full forward again. Who's at the fall of the ball? Butler, a little kick over the top. He's going to try and go off his left. Didn't quite have the room or the opportunity. Rioli picked it up. Bolton left it behind. Now a chance for Ross. Ross feeds it back. Sharman this time. Again, it'll fall about 30 from home. Young went underneath it. Then Curvis tried to punch it away. Lining it up for the kick and then thinking better of it. Marshall went to ground. Didn't get the handball away. Crouch to Ross. Ross to a dangerous spot. Waiting for it. Burns missed the mark. Kicks the goal. Looks very different suddenly from a St Kilda perspective. Kick forward at all costs, tap it on, roll it on, muscle it on, do whatever you can. And suddenly St Kilda looking much more like Richmond. A 6-point lead. Was 25 after the Floston goal.
They've done a really good job in adjusting. It's now 16-7 inside 50, so they're owning the territory space, and then just repeat entries, scrappy, messy, get it on the boot, get it going forward, and something will happen. And it's been weight of numbers that have been able to turn it around. St Kilda, as we said, adjusting much better to these conditions now.
Brilliant turnaround in this game from the Saints. 3 goals in their last 6 entries inside forward 50. Got out to 25 points for Tigers, and you felt like it was a long way back. Bolton sends them forward. Rewalt will go off the ground. He's got some renowned soccer skills. Bit of a fresh air. Miller tried to pick it up. Rewalt can't get a handle on it. Josh Battle. And the boundary line is going to, in fact, it's out of bounds on the floor, I think so. Minute 7 remaining. Can Richmond hit back with a late goal here? Camden McIntosh taking his time. Strange place to kick the footy. A lot of Saints queued up back there, and they win it with ease. Jack Steele's kick. Going to get it almost to halfway, but you feel like it's going to come back. Clever handball to Cotchin. Inside forward 50. Big one-on-one contest. Miller in front of Webster. Has he got the journey? Ben Miller went heavy ball. Where is Jaden Short? Looking for goal number 3. 3/4 time siren, not far away. Gave it a big launch. He got some height, he got some distance, not quite enough.
He kicked the last to the first and the last to the second. He was about 6 inches from kicking the last to the third. Punchy fight back from the Saints late in this third term. They've kicked the last 3 goals. We'll head to 3/4 time. A lot more uncertain how this one finishes than we were 6 or 7 minutes ago.
Here we go. Rolling, Toby.
3 goals, 1 to 1-3. The Saints are back in the game. Richmond home game. Those watching on feel like they've had a pretty poor rub of the green. 3/4 time. 11-10, 11-3. Tigers by 7.
Cotchin, 300th game celebration. He was superb in the first half, a little quieter then. Now it's a game of inches. The old El Pacino, was it El Pacino?
Yeah, it is.
I don't want to go into me El Pacino, but that's all it is.
Any given Sunday.
Just take the inches when they're there, kick the ball off the ground, get a one-on-one contest ahead of the footy, and then see what happens. We'll discuss after the siren.
Kicked the last 3 goals of the third term. Seb Ross trying to create some space for himself. Here is Floston, who's been superb, as Cameron Lynn just pointed out. Taranto check sides at the Dusty Martin direction. A little bit of a back pedal was brilliant. Jack, can he pick it up? Steps through. only gained a couple of metres, and the ever-reliable Jack Sinclair back there. It's going to be paid, I think. Insufficient attempt.
Insufficient.
It is.
Foot on the line, thank you. Nathan, clear out. Stand.
Tyler Young sends the Tigers deep into attack. Bolton almost able to grab hold of it at speed. So it's an interesting juncture in the road we get to. The Tigers have won 4 of their past 6 this year. Should have beaten Essendon, you could argue, in dream time. Great against Port, 10-point loss after trailing by 25 at quarter time. The Saints have gone win-loss for the last 9. Trying to make it 2 in a row after having the win they needed to have against Sydney on the road. And Curvis and Marshall. Martin quickly, cleverly. Low skidding ball to a dangerous spot. Wilkie happy just to get it out of the defensive 50. How does it settle in the end? Not ideal for Burns. Wanganeen-Milera happy just to go out of the air in the end. Chasing back, the flight of the ball was broad. Handled it very well, and then over his left shoulder the ball sails. Bolton, brilliant. Off Graham. Graham to come back. Must have just been over. So jackets are on. Players are cold. Tigers by 7.
It's a live ladder you're seeing there, and it's enormous, isn't it, when you look at the context of the season? A win either way here. There's a huge amount for both clubs. Now Curvis grinding it down, looking for Taranto.
Rowan and Toby. Thank you. Yeah.
Cleverly done by Nankervis into the path of Tim Taranto, and he's tried to bat it forward any way you can to gain a bit of forward momentum. Is the A1 plan here in this last quarter. Looks like Marcus Windhager putting some time into Tim Taranto's. Had 26 disposals. Stellar season that Tim Taranto's had. Baker was able to edge, crouch underneath the footy. Pretty hard going again here in the last turn. Picked up by Ross, just casually bends it down the line. Bolter scoops it out, looking for Broad. Owens eventually it's over again.
It's just simple, repetitive football. Keep your feet in the contest. Don't give away silly free kicks. Get the ball forward and just work on putting more pressure on the opposition.
Eric Banner played a big role in a St Kilda uniform on King's birthday football, watching his Saints out there tonight. Mason Wood just couldn't find his foot in any real meaningful way. Jack Steele slides across. So when you looked at that live ladder a few moments ago,
here we go. Rowan,
such
Toby.
a big swing tonight. So only 7 points separates them. The winner completely uncertain, but the Saints trying to make it 9 wins, and the Tigers trying to find 6. They've had the draw against the Blues, and they are trying to get on a run and salvage something from the season, which started so slowly. Bolton into the middle. Fist comes and sends it back on the attacking side of the wing for the St Kilda Football Club. How long does it stay there? Baker again, who loves these conditions, works it forward. Bolton can't escape the Wilkie tackle. Went to ground with a touch from Ross. Goes back towards Sinclair, not the 15 clearly, and wrapped up immediately by Revolt. So as the time continues to tick, in the context of the season, this feels so big.
Once again, Rowan Marshall and Nankervis, if they worked hard this afternoon. McIntosh, chance to pick it up. He did it nicely, and then gained some good distance towards the goal square. Saints defenders working overtime. Webster, that little nervous back handball that has occasionally caused problems in the wet, Joe. It's just probably not on, is it?
No, you just don't need to over-possess it. You're better off just getting it forward and putting the mess closer to your goal.
Tigers will enjoy this opportunity to apply some more pressure here. Keep your eye on Martin and Shea Bolton. As Presti initially came through. Ricochet back to Miller. Revolt is a 1 against 3. Saints fold back with some discipline. Morris Rioli picked up nicely by Ross. Graham decides to go with the back handball to Daniel Rioli, and that little kick will be okay to Liam Baker. And signals he's got the journey and a little bit of a set play. Is it the number 3 option?
Just wondering whether he's talking to the umpire, saying I want my full time, I'm having a shot.
Gives it everything he's got. It comes up short. Revolt with a good launch. McIntosh in a good spot. Just couldn't get the handle on it. Cooper Shaw in the starting sub. Finding it hard to clear defensive 50. Pretty well done, Owens. Gave a good contest. Trapped it in that part of the ground, and it's not going to come out.
Just those one-on-one crucial contests. I feel like you're just going to have to find a way to win and halve a contest when you're out of position.
Dustin Martin was in the right spot and then puts it to the top of the square. Miller has it knocked away. Can the Saints get clear here? Hill for the one-on-one battle on the outer side. Burns and Rioli. Rioli leads Burns to the football. Handball's back inside to Graham. Graham has a bit of time and space, a rare luxury. Back towards full forward. Revolt amongst a pack of Saints. Hill, little handball. Sinclair, Burns, hurried kick. Waiting all on his lonesome Flostone. Had it knocked away from his hands. Higgins was important. Shoveled it towards Owens. Owens to King. King to Burns. Burns to the outer side. And the boundary line looms large, but Owens doesn't want it to get there. Can't stop it from going over.
6 inside 50s to 0 so far in this last quarter, and they're owning the territory. St Kilda have done a good job not to concede off the back of that. Richmond certainly playing the game in their forward half.
So the interchange players desperate to keep warm down there. Windhager won a good contest. To the edge of 50, Hill sliding in. Broad. Want to be careful here. They don't want to cough up a goal. The Tigers. Broad goes back in and got the high one. So a little pressure reliever.
Stand.
Jack Steele, Saints captain, just willing his side over the line here as all of the direction is go long and down the line as far as you can. He's been good, Ben Miller. Presented really well.
Gives it a good ride. Sinclair front spot. Revolt runs with Wilkie at the football. Taranto outside of the boot. Sails towards the boundary line and over.
Rucks, please.
Nice smile from Tim Taranto.
Dustin Martin, mate.
Marshall leans into Nankervis. Ross just got there before Dustin Martin took it with his hands. Taranto's handball goes nowhere. Has to have a second crack at it. Ball goes back in his direction. Ross just left it behind. Held momentarily. Windhager pushed over after he kicked the football. Huge ball to be won on the outer side. Plenty of Tigers. Sinclair has the ball bounce in his direction. Prestia pounces on him. Two wins and a loss for Andrew McWalter since he jumped into the big chair. Seb Ross works it forward. King, haven't seen a lot of him since early in that first term. Here's a chance. Hill. Now King, just to 15. Got 2 in the first. Needs to kick a third.
Just clever from Hill there, and his running power in this last quarter especially, just able to keep going from contest to contest, keep outnumbering, and then he thought his way through it. Knew he didn't have the distance to hit the scoreboard. Squared it up.
Rain continues to fall. You see the set shots so far this year, 10-2. Wet football, distance no problem. one-goal game.
Oh, Bolter drives it as long as he can. The Cooper Sharman fist was effective. Boston's been impenetrable back there at times. Well done again from Sharman. Disrupted the mark from Miller. Miller goes back looking after the footy, and he's been given the benefit of the doubt.
There's two good efforts from Sharman. He really closed that space and kept it in their forward half. Good discipline.
Austin Martin putting together a big night. 31 disposals for Dusty. First time he's had 30+ since April 2021. He'd love to get a win for his great mate Trent Cotchin. Josh Battle was good. Threw about the short one to Bradley Hill. Instead, he looks straight up the middle of the ground. Bombs it to centre half forward. Defensive spoil was on offer. Filippo, it just spilled out of his hands. Play on was the call. Nankervis put his big frame over it. Did well to get it to Jaden Short, who dumps it down the middle. Battle's fist will work out okay. It's going to come back through Sinclair. Touch play on was the call. Crouch, standing start. Getting back Bolter. Just casually lumbered after it, but it ricocheted back in his hands.
Kicks it towards Judson Clark, and Wanganeen-Milera kills the football.
Just every contest is tense, isn't it?
Yep.
On the edge of your seat, we see the Cotchin family looking on. They understand the scenario. One goal in it in this last quarter.
Tigers did lead by 25. Saints did lead by 23. One goal separates the teams now. Chance for Mason Wood. Everyone out on tired legs. Gresham hacks the ball around the corner. Broad, happy to see it over. Floston reminds Filippo who's boss. So Howard and Ryan have been subbed out of the game. Ralph Smith and Sharman brought into the game. Short goes nowhere. Straight up and down. Little give from Steele to Ross. Higgins not quite. McIntosh sees it go by. Bolter and King. No one can take it cleanly. Bolter goes back and gets industrious.
Just these forward stoppages. You get on the move. Get low. Ball's going to be in a contest, but defenders panic.
Miller and Owens. Miller with the height advantage. Owens becomes the rover. Hands and knees, fumbling for it. Crouch. Little chance, Filippo. No score yet. McIntosh plays the miserly roll, gives it off to Bolter. Now, who can win this ball in the air? Wilkie knocks it forward again through a couple of hands. No one could take it cleanly. Cotchin could. Gave it to Taranto. Taranto. Off it goes. Rioli with some speed to Martin. They feed it through. Baker now looks forward. Ralph Smith knocks the ball, waits for it to sit. It never really did.
It's a good tackle from Webster there. He got low, stayed low, didn't give away a free kick. Perfect technique.
10:21 and counting remaining in this game. There's going to be some big moments left. Dusty's demanding that one be paid.
I think you've got to give the players the benefit of the doubt in conditions like this.
By Ray Chamberlain all over that decision. Just see the Saints have been peppering the inside 50s. Miller been strong tonight. Graham with a dumping kick. Front and centre Rewalt. Beautifully picked up. Got some decent penetration on the kick. Running back Bolden, and Webster happy to concede. The margin out to 7 points.
As it was at three-quarter time, so only 2 scores for the term. A point apiece. Stocker goes towards some tall timber. Marshall saw it sail over his head. Ross takes a bounce, looks down the ground. Ugly sort of a ball forward. Broad gets into the front spot, leaves it behind. Gresham has a runner. Higgins, little kick to the leading player. Chance now. Filippo marks about 45 from home. does the youngster handle the moment here?
He's looked good tonight, Filippo. Beautiful mover, good size. Covers the ground really well. Big moment for him.
Hasn't scored in any form so far tonight. A good kick makes it a one-point game. It is a poor kick, but still a chance for Ryan Marshall. But Jaden Short all alone intercepts the ball, gets the Tigers rolling, kicks to McIntosh.
Underestimate the overhead mark back there from Jaden Short as well. That had some nerves of steel attached to it. Crouch has got it. Signalling down the line. Going to go as long as I can. Just hard to get penetration with this wet footy. That's a good way to go about it from Cotchin in game 300. He comes back the other way, Windhager. Chance now. Butler's been enormous. Going to honour the leader, Higgins. It bounces. He trapped it really well, Jack Higgins. Back to King. Put a beautiful little step on Max King, and the left foot snap's gone way wide.
Just a good pick-up from Higgins there, and you think Butler might be better off just going to the top of the square, go long, take your chances rather than trying to find the short.
I thought he was going to try and go for distance and skid it through. He's been outstanding tonight, Butler. He's played these conditions well. McIntosh runs into a couple of problems. Wilkie first and then Crouch.
Yeah, took the tackler on.
Your ball,
and then didn't dispose of the ball correctly. Has to go to the top of the square.
Who's at home for St Kilda? Owens wrestles with Young. Has it go through his hands and out the back? Tigers, have they got the numbers here to run? Cotchin receives from Prestia. Little ball towards Judson Clark. Knocks it on, looks to have the pace. Couldn't take it cleanly. Left it behind, picked it up the second time. Help arrives in the form of Ross. Ross moves it on quickly to Taranto. He's happy just to take a beat or two. Now the driving ball into the pocket. Ralph Smith is there through hands. Sharman hurdles him. Sinclair goes at the football. He takes it over on the slide.
Really important touches from Trent Cotchin. Deep in defence. What can the Tigers manufacture here? Here is the triple premiership captain fighting hard for it. Burns got it to Wanganeen-Milera. Spirals that one as far as possible. Bounces into the hands of Gresham. He's gang tackled. It spills out. They let it go. Little hurry kick off the boot of Young. Only a metre or so, but beautifully picked up by Taranto. Just a bit wayward. Saints free kick deep in defence.
Battle. Long ball ricochets back towards Ross, who puts it into a dangerous spot. Going up but without a real win was Sharman. Suddenly desperation from Crouch. Martin, the bull, gives it off to Ross. Ross back towards Rioli. McIntosh was there as well. How about Cotchin does something brilliant again. Cotchin for three. David Roden signals immediately. Pete and Kath gnash their teeth. 8-point game.
I think that might have brought the house down. A third goal from Cotchin in game 300. Brilliantly done. Judson Clark is appealing to Ray and say, how do you get rid of it? For the line! Jack Sinclair has been able to find a free kick to Stocker with a short one. 6 minutes remaining in this match. Stakes are huge. Stocker pounds it down the line. Miller playing a fantastic role. Nearly completed the mark. Owens wrapped up by Prestia. They'll make some interchanges here, as you can see.
To get the ball in motion more, St Kilda have to score at least twice.
Prestia little sleight of hand was good to Taranto. Baker straight off the interchange, straight into the action. Revolt with an arm wrestle. Wilkie has had a huge year and he's drawn the free kick. Cal Wilkie.
St Kilda holding.
98th consecutive game.
And signalled yet. Just waiting for confirmation. Stand. Time back on. Play on.
What a brilliant year he had. Debuted in round 1 2019. Has not missed a game since.
Cotchin had it. Lost it. Taranto gave it off to Hill. Steele now buys about 30 metres or so. Gresham desperate to get back to Floston. And Floston again proves brilliant at half-back for Richmond, as he's done for the bulk of his career. Back towards Nankervis and Marshall and Wilkie. Taranto for the ball. Running as far as Sharman. Sharman, free kick going his way. The ball being played between the arcs. And now Sharman gives it a hoist. Marshall to ground the ball goes. Steele knew that there was a voice there. Gave it to Ross. Ross to Windhager. Lost it in the tackle.
St Kilda.
To get the ball going again, going central to the Saints.
Ross receives from Windhager. Wanganeen-Milera. The spiral comes unstuck, but might land in the arms of Saint. Not quite the first time. Bouncing ball. Grimes was too slow. Lost the football. Can Jack kick 50 in the wet?
Thank you, Stand. Yep. Stand. You're on it. Stand.
How big is this moment coming up right now? Higgins has a couple for the night. From about 49, it's long, but it's wayward.
In his 50th game for St Kilda, Jack Higgins, wouldn't he have loved to have kicked that one against his old team? The clock all of a sudden becoming an issue. Tigers are going long and as far out as they possibly can. Wanganeen-Milera tried to side off the ground. Revolt did well. Wanganeen-Milera got it back. How brilliant has Nick Floston been? In the right spot, always picked up by Butler. In the right part of the ground here for the Saints. Can they apply some pressure and kick the next goal? Bradley Hill gains 1.5 metres. Beautifully done. Dan Rioli body lined it and won it. And a free kick downfield is a big moment.
Richmond.
Cooper Sharman's booted it back 60 metres. Let's have a look at the free kick. A little bit of an accidental elbow that caught Daniel Rioli, but plenty of time gone, which will suit the Tigers. Miller has it on the wing.
Clock continues to tick here. Miller towards Revolt. He wrestles with Wilkie out the back. There's a ball to be won. Martin might just be able to pick it up and move it on. .246.
Toby, Rowan.
And Curvis to a little bit of space. Prestia knew exactly what he was doing. I don't know if it's any easier from that seat watching on. The players he loves so much. Taranto skips through outside of the boot. That would be just about it. Superb finish on a wet and important night.
Tim Taranto's sparkling form continues. Disposal number 38, 18 contested possessions, 6 clearances, 10 tackles, and the goal that seals the game. Performance.
Extraordinary night for the Tigers. Shea Bolton got some space. He fell over. Bradley Hill gets back. Going to take a minor miracle from here for the Saints. It's all out attack, but the Tigers are well positioned in Del Prestia now. He's got a sense that he will take as much time as he possibly can. They head towards the boundary line. Rewalt will do his best to get it over, and he does exactly that, and precious time ticks away. Huge night for the Richmond Football Club. Benny Gow, what a part he has played in this incredible period of success, and he's been a great leader. Benny might be giving someone some feedback there in the crowd too. The CEO of the Tigers, 62,686 in attendance tonight. They're going to enjoy every bit of it. The Richmond Army will be thrown up deep in attack.
Come out here, Rux. Toby, Rowan, move behind.
Crouch set upon by Graham.
On the football. Free kick St Kilda. On the full now, please. Dion, stand.
Well, 90 seconds to play. 3 needed. And Cotchin goes up with Floston. Wanganeen-Milera knocks it back towards the milestone man. He tumbles it inside 50 towards his mate Dustin Martin. Still some genius in the old body yet. Not quite for Stocker. Maybe for Bolton. Bolton's capable of just about anything.
Finish from the pocket in the wet to kick the final goal, the sealer for the night. They've just been able to take the opportunities in this last quarter, and the class has risen. Taranto and Bolton with goals to finish off the Saints.
Trent Cotchin. Listen to the crowd and what they think about that. That was disposal number 27 for Cotch. He's been one of the best on ground, make it 28. Huge celebration coming up. The Saints have battled hard, but the Tigers have just outplayed them tonight. Here he is again, Cotchin. 29th disposal. They're going to secure their 6th win of the season, Richmond, and they are alive and well in season 2023. Damien Hardwick still sucking in the deep breaths. He's going to give something to the Richmond fans. How good's that? Great to see him here. The coach of the 3 premierships, his captain Trent Cotchin. He's come back to sit in the crowd and enjoy it from the top tier tonight. And the Tigers, with the rain pouring at the MCG, they're going to enjoy every second of this. We celebrate Trent Cotchin, the 6th Richmond player to play 300 games, a triple premiership captain, one of the greatest Tigers ever, and a win for him at the MCG. Tigers, they've beaten the Giants, they've beaten the Fremantle Dockers in the West, and they've beaten the 5th-ranked St Kilda here in Trent Cotchin's 300th game tonight. They are on the march, the Tigers. Let's get down to Lingy with Dustin Martin.
Well, Dusty, that just seemed to mean a lot to you guys.
It's amazing. Such a good win, and I'm glad that we could do it for our inspirational warrior, Cotchin.
He's pretty special, isn't he? 300 games, premiership captain 3 times. I know he means a lot to you as well.
Oh, don't really have the words for how much he means to me and all the boys. Awesome night of footy, and I'm just so pumped we could do it for Cotch.
Have you put your hand up to carry him off?
Yeah, why not?
Absolutely. That was a hard-fought win too, wasn't it, given these conditions?
Yeah, it was awesome. That's the way we love it, and that's the way Cotch plays. So, yeah, it was awesome.
Well done tonight. Great stuff.
Great to hear from Dusty. You don't get a lot of Dustin Martin too often, but you get the sense that he wanted to pay tribute to his great mate Trent Cotchin. Let's get back down to Lingy.
Well, Das, I was just about to grab Tim Taranto, but he's just talking to the crowd right now. I might grab the current captain. Sorry to grab you there, Dylan, out of the pack, but I needed someone to talk to. What a win that was.
Yeah, unreal. Just so happy that I lost my voice. I was screaming so loud that last little bit, but yeah, just so happy for Cotch, for the whole boys. Leading into the bar, you always want to win, so we're really happy with it.
Well, just talk about his leadership. We hear so much from outside. What have you seen firsthand?
Oh, he's been there my whole career. He really, to be honest, he changed the club. He made it what it is today. Yeah, like he's a phenomenal person, really. So I completely lost my voice now, so I've got to go.
I know we're heading over to cheer him off, so go and enjoy, mate. Thanks for your time. Welcome to the Kia Post game. It's all about that man right there. What magnificent scenes at the MCG. The Richmond Footy Club have, well, collectively decided that they're going to see their champion off with a win. They made a decision. They were 7 points ahead at three-quarter time. Momentum had changed. St Kilda had kicked 3 of the last goals of the third quarter. It looked like they had the momentum, but the Richmond Footy Club dug in, and one of their favourite sons, Trent Cotchin, is going to have a moment. He's had wonderful individual success, this man. The Brownlow medal and the All-Australians and the best and fairest and premierships sit at the top. I reckon this night is going to be right up there amongst his highlights.
And walking off with the family, you remember this, and those kids remember that forever. It's a special moment, playing your 300th game, to get a win on the MCG and to walk off with your family.
Yes, and Brownie, the moments, so we talked about Dustin Martin pre-game, that he'd pull out a big game. He's had 34, not sure the last time he's had 34 touches. Then you look up in the stand, you see Damien Hardwick. Let's just sit back and enjoy this. The champ being cheered off by 2 of his great mates. Let's have a listen.
So is his kids getting cheered off?
Oh, beautiful. 62,686. That's a magnificent crowd for a Saturday night when the rain's come hosing down sideways. So that's a tribute from the Richmond Army, just saying to Trent Cotchin how much he means to them. And he didn't just limp to the line either, boys. He lit the joint up in the first half. He was probably the best player on the ground.
Yeah, I think he's BOG'd at half-time, and how good show and tell going to be for kids on Monday morning. He'll be the king of the kids. Yeah. Beautiful vision. No, it's just magnificent. It had all the, as you said, Gaz, had all the storylines, had all the elements to it. Fantastic to see Damien Hardwick there. I love that. And obviously when they crossed to him, showed the vision of him, the crowd and roar there at the MCG. Big crowd on a wet night, Gaz. That shows how much this man is loved, Trent Cotchin. No question about it. They wanted it to be a memorable experience, the crowd, and he didn't let them down.
No, Brendan Gale's been there through it all. I would imagine Peggy O'Neill would be there somewhere as well, the 3-time premiership president. And the thing about it is it's almost a moment for Damien Hardwick as well. Like, didn't want to come to the game after he had retired or quit because he didn't want to make it about himself. But he's come tonight because I reckon he's happy to share a little bit with Trent Cotchin, and yeah, I'm sure it runs so deep that he was never going to miss it, and made sure that he was back there for tonight.
No, you have to say the 3 most important men, and you shouldn't do this because it takes everyone to get to the amount of success that these clubs has, but the 3 biggest contributors, I think you'd have to say, no doubt, it's Cotch, Dimmer and Dustin Martin.
Yeah, and Peggy.
They're on show
I think
tonight.
you throw Peggy in
Peggy
there.
O'Neill. There you go, 4 of them. So they're on show tonight.
It's a great night. It is a great night, and they had to do it the hard way. The St Kilda Footy Club came and asked a question of them in the third quarter, and That last quarter was a hard watch. So this is it. They're
sneaking their way.
What they are, they're mobilising. I thought they're gone. I thought there's no chance. And I thought that, the retirement or the resignation of Damien Hardwick meant that they'd start to prepare for next year. But, hey, Dimmer's gone. He's had a great trip overseas. He looks about 10 years younger. He couldn't look any happier than he does right now. He's absolutely thrilled. But the Richmond Army's mobilised. They are mobilised again, and they are absolutely back in this hunt, and that is a credit to Andrew McQualter.
So what does it say about Andrew McQualter? Obviously, they brought in the game plan. He switched up some few magnets, put players in different positions. If they keep winning and play finals and potentially might go all the way, would he get that position?
It might be a Paul Roos situation. Ed, you'd be too young to realise that Paul Roos just made it impossible for Sydney not to appoint him when he became the interim coach and then went on to become a premiership coach. So
the heavy favourites in 2 of those games, Gaz. Obviously, the Friday night at the Gabba is a challenge, but they've got great memories up there.
No, there's just a sense that there's something a little bit exciting happening here. And for those that had written the story of 2023 in relation to the Tigers, and I was one of those, I didn't think they had a chance. They might be just, there's his wife Brooke, that's a great moment as well. You talk about important people in his life, none more important than that. But they've said, no, we haven't closed the chapter on 2023. And what it says, Eddie, is the respect for Andrew McQualter. We said we think this club on Monday night, Brownie, have looked at it and said, OK, this might be Andrew McQualter's one and only chance to make a play for a coaching job. We'll do everything we can to get you there. That's what it looks like, because they've responded.
Well, Ben Rutten's there. He's coached the team in his own right as well. So David Teague's there. He's coached one in his own right as well. I think, not sure if he's courted McQualter, but certainly St Kilda, there's talks that they want to get him back there, so it shows how much he's sought after.
Definitely did. He's a young man who fits the persona of the modern-day successful coach. I'm talking about Craig McRae, lower profile, bit understated, relationship builder, and they have responded, and they're up and about right now. It'll be, the Dustin Martin thing fascinates me, and I know he's been going okay. Of course he's been going okay, but he hadn't been going like he did tonight. There was stuff he did tonight which we might have a look at on Monday.
I've noticed, Gaz, the last couple of weeks, the body language.
Yeah.
So not that he wasn't invested, but he's as invested as any Tigers player there. The energy he shows around the ball at the moment and his enthusiasm for the contest has been on show the last fortnight.
And they got that man, Tim Taranto, just continues to play great footy. We'll talk about Ben Miller. We'll talk about Jaden Short's resurrection. So all of a sudden, the competition is sitting back saying, we haven't seen the back of Richmond. They got a big Friday. It was Brisbane, did you say, Friday night?
Brisbane next, bye, freshen up, and then Brisbane on a Friday night up at the Gabba. How big's that?
Well, their season's alive and well. And this is going to be one of those rousing renditions that they'll look back at and go, well, this is the moment where they declared that season 2023 is open for business again. And they did it well against the St Kilda side who were hard to score against. They scored 90 points. They dug in deep. They kicked the only 2 goals in the last quarter. And here's a Richmond Footy Club 300-game celebration version for their captain courageous of the premiership era, Trent Cotchin. Milestones come and go. If you play long enough, you're going to play through milestones, and they don't always end up like this. This is just one of those great nights where your team's had a really memorable victory, really good opposition, and you've had a big say in things. So